Good morning, GBS. We are in Psalms 93, and the title of today's message is The Lord is King. Good morning, everybody. Did y'all enjoy Holy Week? That was pretty cool how we went through the whole entire week. Now, when we do this again next year, I think I want to look at all of the disciples' stories about God, not just Luke. His version wasn't like drama-y enough, but I still, nevertheless, I really did enjoy it, getting a more day-to-day look at what Jesus went through. And I hope you guys got something out of that too, but more importantly, that your lives was transformed and changed by seeing what God did for us. So now we're back into our lesson. We're reading the Bible all the way through, and today takes us back into the Psalms.
Spider-Man movie.
This psalm is a royal psalm, and it speaks about God being the king over everything. Anything and all things. God is king over everything and everybody. Psalms 93 verse 1. The Lord rules as king. He wears royal power as his clothes. His strength is like a belt round his belly. So the world is safe and strong. Nothing can shake it from its place. So when the writer speaks about God wearing his authority like clothes, it means it's something that everyone can see. It's not on the inside. His power is not hidden. His authority is seen. Y'all like my clothes? I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it for the followers. I don't do it for the fame. I don't do it for the whatever that says.
At least that's how I like to portray the character.
I do it for the Lord. Do it for the Lord. So I do that last part. Oh, validation. So again, this is saying that God wears his authority and everything in a place. His power and his authority is not hidden. It's in a place that's seen, just like your clothes. Verse 2 talks about how God has always ruled as king even before the beginning of time. Now, this is important because people seem to think that the world just came from out of nowhere and that it wasn't created. But the Bible is the truth, and that's how we know what happened, what really happened, and we don't believe in some hypothesis or in so-called educated guess that something just existed out of nowhere. No, God is clearly saying, I've been the king since before the earth was even created. Verse 3, the floods of water have risen up, Lord. They have risen with a loud noise. Their waves beat against the land. So there's two different beliefs with this one. The flood and waves can be a metaphor for God's enemies, or it represents what truly happened when he made the earth. Regardless what it means, whether it being God's enemies or just the big rowdiness of the waves and God, putting it in control, whichever way it goes. In verse 4 it says, but the Lord rules as king high above everything. So he still even ruled above the powerful waves of the sea, even with all of their great noise. In Psalms 93 ends with verse 5. It says, Lord, your rules remain strong and true. So God's rules are true no matter what. So if God's rules and his word is saying that he created the world, then we have to know that it's the truth and that he did do it. And then it says, your house will always be holy because you are holy. I like the Message version for this verse 5, and it says, God, what you say goes. It always has. Beauty and holy mark your palace. God to the very end of time. So we know that it speaks of God being there in the beginning before creation, and then it ends with saying God being there to the very end of time. So we know that God is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and he is the end. And what this told us is that he rules over everything, and we see it and we know his power, just like we recognize people's clothes. So today, I hope we're encouraged to let go and let God, because at the end of the day, he's in control of everything anyway. It's not us. It's never been us. We're just a part of his creation. And if we're all out of order like the waves in the sea, he has the power to calm that. God God. We seen Jesus do it in the flesh when he calmed the waves. I'm happy that we got a chance to visit Jesus' life, and he said the Psalms speak about me too. So we're talking about Jesus right now, even when we're talking about creation, and know that he is going to be there in the end too. So this in-between part that we're unsure of, we know that God's words are true. It said it here, and we can trust him. Because if he's there at the beginning and he's there in the end, you don't think he's with you in the middle? So anything that you're worried about, you're stressing about, or anything that's out of order, we know that we can count on God's true rules, which remains true and stays the same no matter what. And his promises, which is to protect us, to calm these storms and keep things in order when things are out of order in our lives. So I hope y'all have a blessed and amazing day, and just trust God. Let him be God in your lives. Amen. Bye.